thank y'all for coming, thank you for being interested in protecting yourself and maybe liking our case a little bit. So we get started. Courtney, are you ready for them to go ahead and eat? That way they can eat and we can talk. So, will anybody like to open us with a word of prayer? No volunteers, I'll take care of it. Let us pray. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today. Thank you for the people in this room. Lord, thank you for the meal that's been provided for us. And thank you for all the things you do for us. We're so undeserving. There wasn't one perfect person in the world that deserved to have you here, Lord. Thank you for sending your son to die on the cross for us. And once again, thank you for all the blessings. Amen. All right, go on your road, take your pick. I think there's, hey, James Blake. Three different casseroles back there. And I know you have some, you know what's that. I won't hold y'all here. There's two folders there, one from Bond News and stuff they printed out, another one that's got a little more information and stuff that I printed out for you. I'm gonna throw a lot of stuff at you real fast. Try to get through this and hit the high spots of it, but everything we talk about goes into more details in there, so if there's something you're interested in, you can find it and read it. There's millions of different scams. Scams have been going on for thousands of years. People have been cheating other people out of money since biblical times. We all know that. They've gotten more sophisticated. They've gone away from the door-to-door trying to steal your money and send you encyclopedias to your cell phone, your computer, your tablet. We see them all the time. They come into the station, they file a report. Smart people, good people, people that just like us sitting in this room and say, hey, I've lost $30,000, I've lost $10,000. I had an older gentleman several years back. He was sending money to somebody, and I tried to stop him. I said, sir, don't send that money. It's a scam. They're going to take your money. He said, no, I gave that man my word to it, and he sent the money anyway. I tried to stop him, even though he was getting scared. Unfortunately, when you come into our session, I would love to solve every one of those crimes. It's almost impossible. It's almost a waste of our time and almost a waste of your time, because it goes to a mailbox in New York, and then it bounces from there to Jamaica or someplace like that. I contacted the FBI when I first took over, and they laughed and they said, yeah, when you figure out how to solve it, let us know, we'll go from there. So, the only way you have to protect yourself, and I'm sorry that I have to stand up here and tell you that I can't solve that crime. My jurisdiction only reaches so far, the sheriff's office only reaches so far, the state police only reaches so far. Protect yourself, though, and hopefully we can educate you here today to help you protect yourself. One of the biggest one is phishing. They put in phishing covers tech support, job scams, social media, online shopping. Phishing is a part of all of it. They throw the bait out there. They may send you an email that says, hey, you have an order. Your order is being delivered. They just want you to click on it. If you click on it, then it attacks your computer, they get your information. It's just what it says. It's not spelled like phishing, but except with a PH. But that's what it is. They're fishing for your information. If you click on that, or they get you on the phone and they're fishing and they're trying to get your information, you will have access. Tech support. You'll get an email or a phone call. And Rodney, you was telling me about one today. They called, said your TV was getting cut off. If you don't upgrade the dish or something out there, you're going to lose TV. You have a bug on your computer. Let me have access to your computer. I don't know how many people in here pay their bills online or have their bank account they look up online. I do. I mean, that's the way of the world now. But if you allow them access and give them access to that computer, then they can suck your information out, and then they have your information. We're all subject to being a part of this crime. Not too long ago, somebody opened a credit card in my name. I called it over, they spent $90, they shut it off, and it's gone. That's just part of today's world, unfortunately. Job scams, we don't see a whole lot of that around here, or it's unreported. Everybody wants to have a job, everybody wants to sit behind the computer at the house and not have to get up, get dressed, and go to work. How easy is it for this scammer to put a job posting out there and wants you to fill out a job application and put your personal information on it, and then once you give him that personal information, they can go to town, they can go to shop. Be very leery of anything, protect yourself. If you don't know that person is not a reputable company that you've ever heard of, look for misspelled words. A lot of these people, I'm all for anybody that wants to come to America and start a new life, but do it the right way. But look for misspelled words. A lot of these are foreigners, and they'll misspell the easiest words, or they'll change if it's trying to think of a website. You just change one letter, it still looks the same, but it's a fake website. That's part of the online shopping. They will set that website up to look just like the real one, change one domain, one letter in the domain, gather all your credit card information, or anything of that nature. We kind of got past that season right now, because we got to do Black Friday. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I did all my Christmas shopping online. When you're online, make sure that you're at a secure website. If you're not, and somebody might have used to the website showed green across the top and you knew it was secure. I don't think they do that quite as much anymore. But one way to protect yourself, don't use your debit card if you're using online. Pay for it with your credit card. If you don't have a credit card, go to Walmart. They have those little prepaid credit cards. Put you $500 on there, however much you plan on spending, put it on that prepaid debit card. And if they get it, all they get is what you put on it. They don't get your whole bank account and wipe you out. Courtney, how much is that y'all see at the bank?
Every day. Every single day. We do probably 5 to 10 debit card speeds a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
And it's not just older people.
No, this doesn't happen though. There's every age or every generation in this room right here, from the youngest being 17 to, we're not gonna ask who's the oldest, it's that long. But every person sitting in this room is subject to a scam or a fraud. Sunday, I had a man calling me. I didn't know the number. It was a 225 area code from South Louisiana. He talked to me like he knew. He knew my grandfather's name. He did his research. He said, I used to be friends with Mr. Willie. And I said, yep. I said, that was my grandfather. He said, look, I'm broke down on the side of the road. You're the only person I can think of. Do you have Venmo, Cash Out, PayPal? I don't have any of that. He said, but I need $850 to get this part for my mechanic to come over and fix this truck. And I'll be able to give you $1,050. And I said, well, I appreciate you trust me. I appreciate you calling me. I'm right in the middle of something and I don't know. And, but it was a scam. Like I said, I get them, Detective Kyle gets them. If we're getting them, I know y'all are getting them. I get emails. They'll send bulk emails across the country. Delivery, you click on this, it looks legit. Like I said, when you click on it, you load up your computer for it to be taken over. A lot of times they'll take it over and then they want you to pay a ransom to turn it loose. Like I said, there's thousands, and there's no way we would spend all night here going over each and every scam. Social media. Quit putting everything on social media. I know you love to save your pictures, so they don't ever go away. You can always get them back on social media. But But when you put them out there that you're in Florida, and this isn't so much a scam, hey, we're at the beach in Florida, you just let everybody that burglarized houses know, hey, their house is empty. Unfortunately, and I'm sure we have some widowers and widows in here, if you don't like being alone, you're afraid. There's people out there that will make contact with you, gain your trust, begin talking to you, and then by the time you think you're gonna leave, they say, oh, I can't get a plane ticket, I've got this problem. Will you send me $1,000 to get a plane ticket? I've seen a lot of men begin talking to their thought with women overseas, and they want to come visit. And at the very end, before they come flying over, oh, my mother's sick, my father's sick, can you send us $5,000? Can you send us $10,000? Not only were they talking to that one man or this one woman, they were probably talking to 10 or 15 others at the same time, and profiting from it. Now, and once again, I said this is very important, because there's a special place in hell for folks like that, I'm sure. And if that offends you, I apologize, that's my thing. Another one is card collection scams. And me as a kid, I used to collect baseball cards. Still got a closet full of them. That's the easiest scam in the world. How hard would it be to make a copy and say, hey, I've got a rookie card of Bo Jackson or whoever, and it's a fake, but they sell it online for $2,000 or $2,500, however much it's worth. So, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I remember years ago, me and Charles Davis were good friends, or still good friends. A lady came in his office. She was bragging, I won the England lottery or something. Said, all I gotta do is send these people $200,000 and then I get this million. He said, that's great, proud for you. He's got one question though. You ever bought a ticket? No. How did you win the lottery when you didn't buy a ticket? People get so excited over the fact that they're going to get some money that they lose all their common sense. How many have in this room have got the phone call, you want a new car, go deliver it, all you got to do is pay the delivery fee. So have you gotten that one? You got that one? Yeah. Let's see, what's another one out there right now? Grandson, granddaughter, son, daughter has been arrested in Mexico. You need to pay this, and we will get them out of jail. That's another one. The IRS calls you, hey, you're behind on your taxes, you need to send us this money. I got news for you, the IRS doesn't call you.
And neither does Social Security.
Social Security will not call you. The IRS will send you a certified letter and tell you to be at their office in Shreveport on this day at this time. And I don't get nervous about anybody, the FBI, IRS makes me nervous. One slip of the button and they can wipe you out. They don't seem to have any rules or regulations, it's their world, they're just walking. And help me out, like I said, somebody has experienced a phone call or a scam that I had. Come on, Rodney, what other ones have we seen?
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Wire fraud is big.
Thank you for bringing up the check. You'll get a check in the mail, and they'll ask you to go deposit it, and you send them back however much money, but you get to keep $250 or $300.
Yes, wire fraud.
Yep, wire to
Wire
All right. Yep, if you don't know where that check came from, do not go cash that check. That check is fake, and you're responsible for it. The bank will not stand behind that, will you, Gordon? You're responsible for it, and you, unfortunately, can be the one arrested.
I got a list that's ongoing that started yesterday,
Okay.
and, it's a debt collector, collecting agency.
Mm-hmm.
Called me yesterday, Shreveport number, I answered had to get to the restaurant across from my wife got the recording. If you're Chris Tyler, Chris Moore, I had to do it. So, got this lady on the phone, and she tells me that I owe Spring Hill Medical Center, she's collecting for Spring Hill Medical Center, $2,008 that I owe to pay it, or I was fixing to be levied or garnished, and then, you know, bring removal court, she was real short, anything I tried to, well, I didn't think I owed that. So I got off the phone with her, I called out to the business office at Spring Hill. They went all the way back to 2001, they couldn't find a way to do anything. And, today they're still texting me, these same people. And, called the number, and I got the same girl named Amy on the phone, that was rude yesterday. And I think that's all they're doing is trying to say.
And they are, and I'm glad you brought that up. If you're on the phone with them and they get very pushy and start, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, it's probably a scam. Once again, it's, you know, you've been to the hospital, you know the hospital will send you.
Well, they're saying it's from 2016, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I pretty well know all this about it.
Yeah, and you're gonna get 3 or 4 bills before they turn you over to collections. And most of us in here, we pay our bills, I mean, we take care of our business. Or you work it out, you know, one way or the other. But once again, if they get rude, they get pushy, something of that nature, they're trying to force you and scare you into sending that money because they're afraid you're gonna get off their hook, they're fishing. And they're gonna lose you, they got you on the hook at that point in time. And they don't want you to get out. And once again, they're gonna try to scare you. I'm trying to, like I said, once again, I got one that called and said they was coming to arrest me. I said, I need a room. I'm ready, come take me away. Free room and board. Free room and board and a break. But that's another thing. Nobody wants to be arrested. Nobody wants to lose their freedom for any amount of time. And if they can scare you enough and get you to send, and it doesn't matter, they may start out at wanting $2,000. If you send them $200, they profit. They profit. And it's all, once again, common sense stuff. Bulk email. Like I mentioned earlier, they'll send out mass emails. And these people have gotten a little smart. They'll do their research. Like the man that called me, he knew my grandfather's name. Anything that, and it's easy to get, it's out there. All they have to do is look at your Facebook page, your social media page, do a little bit of research on you, and they can get your information because you provide it. And if they do just a little bit of research, you're more than likely willing to hand it over because they knew a little bit about you. And we're all, once again, smart. I'm the dumbest one in the room, where everybody else is way smarter than I am. Stop, think about it a minute, and say, does this sound right? And, you know, you just have to slow down just a little bit and think about what's going on. Chris James, you was telling me, tell us about the one that you had.
Well, I had the one that they said that the viewing, I had the map that I know to pay. And so I went in there and looked, and they told us to put your dollar figure in there. And so I did, I put the dollar figure in there, so if you want your money back, check it. So I did, and they said, oh, so that was $60. And they pulled it up a little bit, and they said, I want your banking account number so I can direct deposit into your bank. Well, I was lucky, and as much as that bank was on this holiday, the bank was closed. Most days, they want it by a certain day. And so I kept telling myself, I'm not comfortable talking here. I said, I'm not, and further we got into it, the more I told them, I wasn't comfortable. They said, well, you go down to your banking institution tomorrow, it's not going to do any good, they're closed. And so it turns around, they said, well, you go Monday, and here's your phone number, you call and you tell them to wire. Don't worry, any other thing, tell them to get part, and whatever you do, don't tell them why. This, further this goes, the more it stinks. And so sure enough, when the bank opens, next day, I think, on the Tuesday, when they opened, I carried that information that he had down there to him. Thankfully, the bank was smarter than I was, and they said, hey, this is a scam. Had to do away with all my cards, all over.
Well, you're very lucky. Did you give your bank information? Okay, if you would have given the bank information, they love to do it on Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday, because they can't stop it. They're not at work. You can't get a hold of them to stop
He asked me, he said, if you do, online banking, I said, what about? And so that was one thing that went to my advantage.
it. Right,
I
right.
got another one right now on my computer telling me I owe, Texas so much money for being in the fast lane and that. I pay everything like that.
I understand, I understand. Another thing, when you get these phone calls and they ask you to go to Walmart and buy gift cards, don't do it. Because as soon as you read that number, you buy the gift card, and as soon as you read the number off, it's gone immediately. I can remember about 12 years ago, they made a phone call into McDonald's, our local McDonald's, said that the branch manager was stealing money. Got hold of the other, another associate manager or whatever. Wanted her to go into the safe, and she did, she believed them, and said they were law enforcement or somewhere. She took all the money out, she went to Walmart, put all the money from the McDonald's that Friday or Saturday night on gift cards, and began reading the numbers off, because they were protecting the money. They were gonna hold it, and they were gonna wind up arresting this branch manager. Luckily on that one, it was somebody that was local. That's one of our few success stories, and we wound up catching it.
They said there was Springdale Medical, about my late husband, said that, I had a bill that was owed on him. He never went to Springdale.
No, well, and that's the deal, they're gonna use, they're gonna do a little research, they know you're from Springfield, Cullen, Plainview, Union, they know you're from this area, so which hospital would she use? Or which one would he use? They can look up and saw Mr. Cherry's name, saw that y'all were married, they're gonna gather information, and they're gonna make that phone call to gain your trust. And most of the, there are times it's gonna play on your sympathy, and your feelings, and try to gain a little trust, so when they knew Terry, they knew we went to Spring Hill Hospital, maybe I do know this, and I just missed it, and hopefully you send them the money. Because the majority of the time, we use the hospital that's closest to us, or I hope you do. And it kind of goes along with this last one I've got on here, impersonation scams. Basically, that's what they're doing, they're impersonating. I have someone call and say, impersonate a son or a daughter, and say, hey, I'm in trouble, send me the money, I need the money, I'm in a bad way. And that's how they have to get to in touch with you on your feelings, gain a little bit of trust. Hopefully this class will make you stop and say, wait a minute, hold up, let's think about this again. And slow down. That's the main thing I see people make mistakes, is they need to slow down. I saw a young man, he came into the station, and I'm not gonna mention his name, but he lives here in Springfield, he was gonna buy a car. Facebook Marketplace. Nice car, heck of a deal. I think he was gonna give $36,000 for this car, and it was about an $80,000 car. But he wired them the money before he ever saw the car. If you're gonna buy something off Facebook Marketplace, make sure it's somebody that you know. Make sure they're willing. I bought stuff off Facebook Marketplace. Met them at Benton. PlayStation 5, my son wanted one, I probably should have never bought it. But anyway, the guy was willing to meet me, and I took my pistol and I met him at the courthouse over in Benton, and we did our exchange, and went on from there. But if they're not willing to meet you or show up in person, it's probably not good. And if you do decide to buy something, be wary of where you're going. Get them to meet you at a public location. Don't get somebody to lure you to Cedar Grove and Shreveport. It's probably not gonna turn out very good for you. You know, just, like I said, or meet you at a secluded location. Maybe if they have you meet somewhere other than that, you may lose more than your money. So be smart about it. But if they're not willing to meet and not willing to let you see the product, kind of like a drug deal. If you're not willing to show the cash, and he's not willing to show the product, it's probably not a very good deal. Rodney, you got anything? Courtney?
Yeah, I'll say a few things. We'll cover, most of the types of fraud and scams, but what I want to talk about more is how to try to protect yourself or avoid being scammed. One thing is, it is common sense, but, not giving anybody your social security number, not giving them user IDs, passwords, anything confidential, and don't leave it laying around. A lot of people will put their passwords, user IDs in their wallets. I see it all the time. People come in to the bank, they'll set up online banking, and they want to write down the user ID and password and put it in their wallet. Well, their wallet is not on them at all times.
Or take it to the back of the car.
Don't put it in your phone case, don't put it on your debit card, that type of confidential information needs to remain confidential. Do not give anybody your PIN number to your debit card. One thing that we see a lot, like I said, we do a lot of debit card disputes, and one thing that we see a lot is, grandma or aunt or uncle or mom, don't want to go to town, so they send daughter, son, niece, or nephew to town with a debit card to get some groceries. Well, they also made a detour to an ATM and got, $50 out of the ATM. Well, they come in and do a dispute on that transaction. I never got money out of the ATM. We show them the footage. This is your son that got the money. How did they get the money? Did you give them the PIN number? They had to have the PIN number to use the ATM, so we don't reimburse that money. You have to be able to, like Will said, protect yourself. So if you give the information out, if you give your debit card information out, if you give your checking account number out, and fraudulent transactions are successful in your account, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to get that money back. The bank is not going to reimburse you, because when you go to the bank and you do a debit card dispute, most of the time the bank is giving you that money back. The bank doesn't get it back. Well, the bank is not going to reimburse you the money because you gave your information out to somebody that was a scam artist. That if banks did that with everybody, there would be no banks. They would be out of business. Because of the amount of fraud that happens, the banks can't pay all those claims. Using good passwords, and I'm terrible. I do use the same password for everything, but that's not a good thing to do. Changing your password is really good. And like Will said, the social media, stop putting everything on social media. And do not use Facebook Pay. If you're gonna do a person-to-person pay, do one that's a little more reputable. People's Facebook pages get hacked every day. Every day somebody's making a new Facebook page and they got hacked. Well, if your banking account information is saved in there because you're paying people on Facebook or accepting payments on Facebook, well, now your Facebook is hacked and you realize your banking is hacked. So do not use Facebook Pay. I think it's called MetaPay. Don't use it. Don't use it. Another thing, and Will kind of talked about this with his credit card, but looking at your bank statement and looking at your credit bureau, those are the most important things that you can do to help yourself. If you have fraudulent account, if you have identity theft, if you're monitoring that regularly, you're more banks have time frames, like on a debit card transaction. The bank will only allow you to report that to them for a specific time frame. And there are federal regulations that tell the banks, this is how long you have to give a customer in order to allow them to do a dispute and you pay the money back. For debit cards, it's 60 days. So if you do not look at your online banking, if you do not check your bank statements, you are likely to have a charge that you find out about 3 or 4 months down the road, and it don't matter how much it is, the bank's they're not paying it. They're not gonna work with you to get that money back because it's been so long. You've got to be able to do the work on your own to monitor your transactions, to monitor your credit bureau if you have any debt.
Yes. And another thing you'll see with these people that get your information, like on your debit or credit card, or your debit card through the bank, they may hit it for $5. They're just watching to see if you start changing things. And if that $5 goes through and nothing ever gets changed, then they'll hit it for a little more. And they're watching you, so if you're not, like she said, if you're not monitoring, then they say, hey, they're not watching. Let's wipe it clean.
Can I say something? That just happened to me about a couple of weeks ago. And I got a text message saying, you can check your bank account. So I never had the bank at several banks, but this particular bank, when I called them, said, go to your local branch. And I went to my local branch, and I said, well, they told me to check, so what's going on? And it was Amazon Music. Like, how did they get my card? How did they get my card information? Because I have even my card is secure with me at all times. So he said, well, what we'll do is we'll dispute it. You keep your same account with us, but we're gonna change you a whole new card. So I have to wait to get the card right now. So.
Yeah, and you have a lot of customers get really upset. They'll get that same text message. They'll be out of town on vacation, and they'll get that same text message that says you had fraud, or they'll go to use it that maybe they didn't get a text because they didn't update their phone number. That's very important. Update your phone number from the bank. But they didn't get a text and they're swiping their card, it's declined, so they call the bank and they say, why is my card declining? We looked at suspected fraud, and they say, well, you can't turn my card off because I'm in Florida or wherever. Well, the bank will not leave your card active. If there's fraud and the bank leaves it active, then the bank is liable for any additional transactions, and there's never just one transaction. Never. It may be 2 different businesses, it may be 2 or 3 days apart, but there's never just one transaction. So that upsets customers. So always try to have a second form of payment in case that happens. Cash, a second card, whatever that may be, always try to have a second form of payment because the bank is not going to leave your card active. That's not going to happen.
One month, I didn't notice it on my statement, but the next month, it said recurring. Some words it said recurring, so I called at the bank immediately, and they said, yeah, there's a recurring charge in what's being added. Yeah, $30-something every month, but they took care of it because I found it within every 60 days. But that just popped up on my bank. I don't know, they don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, and really, we get asked that all the time. People come into a debit card dispute and they'll say, just like she said, how did they get my card number? Well, if we knew how they got your card number, we would probably be having this presentation because we wouldn't have the amount of fraud that we have. So, we don't know. You put it in a website that maybe wasn't secure. You swipe it at a gas pump that had a skimmer and somebody got your information. I mean, there's literally 1,000 ways somebody can get your card information.
You paid it at a reputable business, and then they had one person in there that, how many times have you ever handed your card at a restaurant and let the waiter walk away? Don't do it, because all it takes is him or her to walk by, take their phone, click, and they got your information.
Yeah, they do not have to physically have your card. And I use this example with customers all the time. I'm gonna get away from cards and I'm talking about checks. So, when you write a check, you are giving whoever you write that check to, you're giving them your name, your address, you're giving them where you bank, and your account number. So, if you write me a check, I can turn around and go to my card, I can call Verizon, or I can call Entergy, or, whatever bill payment that it change into an electronic form of a statement, because that bank statement has so much information. And who all in here has got somebody else's mail in their mailbox at some point or another? It is happening
Post
every
office
day.
never messes up.
So just be mindful, you know, if you have an option to have that bill electronically drafted every month, do that. Don't write them a check every month if you don't have to. Set it up recurring on your debit card. Pay it through bill pay through your bank app. But just, and I'm not saying don't write a check, I have a checkbook, I write checks, but just be mindful who you're giving that check to. Be mindful when you put it in the mail. Another way people are getting you with a check is when you put it in the mail, and we see it in the bank more with business checks, but it does happen with consumer checks. You put that check in the mail and you send it to pay your Discover card for $500 or whatever. And a scam artist probably isn't in the post office system, because that does happen. Somebody has got that piece of mail and they do what's called washing the check, and they change that payee name from Discover to Courtney. And now Courtney can go to the bank and cash that check. And you don't realize, because you're looking at your bank statement and it says check 5,000 is cleared for $500, but that's what you wrote to Discover. But until Discover calls and says we didn't receive your payment, and now you're looking into this check, you know, how much time may have lapsed. So now will the bank pay that item? Because I'll tell you, I can't speak for Regions or Carter or Farmers, but at Bonvenue, 60 days is a debit card. You know, that's how long you can just have a disputed debit card transaction. For us to guarantee you get your funds back on a check fraud, it is 24 hours. If you report it to the bank in 30 days before your next statement, we will do everything we can to try to get the money back for you. And up to a certain amount, we will probably pay it for you. You know, we will reimburse you that money, but you've got to report it in 30 days. But nothing is guaranteed after 24 hours. So checks are a lot riskier than that debit card. A lot riskier. Again, I'm not saying don't write checks. I write checks, but just be very mindful and very cautious. If you write a check and that check clears, pull up your online banking. If you don't have online banking, I strongly urge you to get it, because you can check your transactions in live time. Look at that check. Don't just look to see check number so-and-so cleared. Click on it and look at the image to make sure it cleared to the person that you intended that money to go to. So all of it is just about being mindful. Pay attention to who you give your information to. Pay attention to who you're talking to on the phone. Pay attention to what you're clicking on. Just, you know, being mindful is really what's going to save you, and keeping all your information confidential as best as you can. That's all I have.
Courtney, I got a question.
Yes?
At your bank up there, what was the reason for y'all not accepting cash at anymore? Was there a fraud?
Because of the amount of fraud.
Well, fraud,
So
okay.
there are a lot of websites or companies that we have blocked because of once we do so many debit card disputes for a specific company, and we've lost this much money, because like I said, a lot of times the bank does not get that money back. The bank pays those disputes. We'll block them. Some of the ones we've blocked, just Nike.com, Wells Fargo Bank. We do not allow our customers to pay anything to Wells Fargo, Cash App. The most recent one that I'm aware of is not the Brookshire's Pickup app, but online. Like if you go to Brookshire's.com on your computers, for some reason there's a lot of fraud there. So there are companies that once a bank has paid so much money out in fraud, so much claims, they'll just block it all together, where their cards cannot be used with that company. So that is why Bonvenue does not allow our customers to send money with Cash App at all.
I have a question, well, I don't know if it's a question, but it's concerned to me about the QR codes. Can you,
So I will tell you that we have seen some scams where, like, competition or your meal at Chili's, and you just gave a scam artist that amount of money. That is a real one, and it's actually called, you know, squishing, not fishing. Which is weird. But yes, that is a real type of scam also.
Well, and that's why I'm a big proponent, and tell people, and I don't work for Discover or Capital One or any credit card company. But use your credit card if you can, and then just pay it off, because I know I have a Capital One venture card. We like to travel, you on my Facebook, I'm all over the place. I get free miles, so when I decide to go somewhere, I get a free airline ticket somewhere. Well, and whenever that credit card gets used, I get a text on my phone that says, hey, you just bought so-and-so. And if I didn't buy it, I'm like, oh, something's wrong. You're easier, Courtney did an amazing job at trying to get your money back, but they can't go broke trying to get your money back. Capital One seems to be a little more protected. Once again, if they get a little bit off there, whoop-de-doo. At least they hadn't wiped out your actual money on your debit or savings account or anything. Anybody else have any questions?
No, I was just gonna say, put emphasis on what you just said, I get notifications out on my bank. And I close all paper checks, I don't even do paper checks anymore. And I get a notification every time a transaction is made.
Yeah, bank apps have, where, they have all kinds of alerts you can set up where, every time your debit card is used, every time a deposit is made, or if my balance is below a certain dollar amount, I mean, you can set up all kinds of transactions, they can text it to you, they can email it to you. I strongly urge you to not have online banking, no matter where you bank, to download that, so that you can in real time do those transactions. And you also, another feature that most banks have is to lock your card within the app. So if it is Saturday and your card is stolen or lost, you can't call the bank, you can't call the branch and say, hey, I cut my card off, I've lost it. You may not have no way to report it on a Saturday or Sunday, but you can pull your app up and lock it. And I have a lot of customers actually who keep their card locked at all times unless they're gonna use it. And then, they'll pull up to Walmart parking lot, open their app up, unlock their card, go to Walmart, buy their groceries, and then come back to their car and lock their card back.
And she brought up something about gas pumps. When you pull up that gas pump, if you're gonna use a credit or debit card or whatever, reach up there and grab it and see if it's loose. Those skimmers normally do not fit on there tight and secure. The ones that are actually the real thing, they're tight, you can't move it. That thing is loose. Avoid it. Walk away from it. Probably go in there and tell whoever's running the register, say, hey, that deal's loose. And it happens here, it happened in Sarepta. That's 4 or 5 years ago. And somebody had slipped up there and put a skimmer on it. They didn't take it off, the sheriff's office didn't take it off immediately, they sat back and waited to see if they'd come back and get it. They never did, I think they finally caught on, but they did. And like I said, all they did was pull the skimmer off and plug it in, and they got your credit and debit information. Any other questions? Once again, thank y'all for coming. Is there any, we're gonna try to do this once a month. Is there any other classes that y'all are interested in?
Never really